The Ravens Flock presents The Black Files, an uncensored interview and review podcast for all geek fandom.
Welcome everybody, friends and pals, guys and gals, boys and girls around the world. Pop a squat, pop open a cold one with all your boys, with all your friends. It is Wednesday night, it's only a couple of hairs past 10 p.m., and you've been granted access to the uncensored and uncompromising interview and review podcast of The Ravens Flock. So, whether you're a friend or you're a fiend, boy, girl, or in between, you are tuned in to a brand new episode of The Black Files.
Yes, that is correct. Welcome one, welcome all nerds all over the internet. It is Wednesday night, March 5th. We are just getting started with March Madness. And I think I've already done my March jokes. I don't have any more. I mean,
You're not allowed to do any more March jokes.
Yeah, no. No. I have one, and it's in Spanish. Welcome all and feliz 5 de marzo. Yeah, no,
we
it doesn't
sound. Call our sister. We owe her a late happy birthday.
It doesn't. Suddenly, it doesn't sound as cool as 5 de mayo.
Of course, it doesn't.
It's not quite as good, but just like the month, time is marching on.
Oh!
Angel got you beat, Jose. Sorry.
Damn it! I gotta get good.
Yes, you do. Welcome, everybody, to the Black Files. I'm your host, Juan Arouse, one of the heads of the Ravens Flock, the tech guru of the team. I'm the guy who managed to figure out how to fix last week's issue without burning through $1,500 and however much else it might have cost for rush delivery on a new computer. You hear that?
Yes.
You hear that?
Yes.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You're right. Yet. You're right.
Let's
Yet.
knock on wood real quick. Just play
Well, I'm
safe.
already knocking on the end table, so yeah, we're good.
Oh, such little faith. But then again, totally justified. And thankfully, I am not alone. Joining me tonight are the usual suspects. First off...
Oh, hang on a minute. Live chat.
Do they know there is no sound? What do you mean there's no sound? You guys. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I forgot to unmute the Zoom call, but I've got it on now. But it's okay. It's all right.
Honestly, I'm just happy that nothing actually is breaking.
No.
Over. Oh no, the computer doesn't work.
Okay, we're gonna blame Angel if it's
Okay,
everybody-
everybody.
Turn on that
Body
VPN
sounds
again
very
and disappear
choppy.
into Venezuela.
I have no clue what just happened, but I am not arguing at this point. I'm just thankful that we're coming through better now. Like I said, thankfully, tonight I'm not alone. First off, let's go ahead and say hello to the usual suspects. Let's give welcome to the host of Los Amigos Play live every Saturday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. A man of a million opinions and zero apologies. The living id of the Ravens flock himself. Give it up for Mr. Angel Mendez!
Hello, everyone. Thank you kindly for your time and your patience. It is I, right here, happy to be with all of you, and once again, happy to join my friends in this ever so exciting month of March. As usual, thank you kindly for taking the time to listen to us, and I hope that you enjoy watching the show as much as we enjoy making it for you.
Appreciate it, Angel. Thank you for that. Let's not forget the lovely ladies of the Ravens flock, the Starlight Roads themselves, cosplayers extraordinaire. Give it up for Zayana Rose and Dragonfang Cosplay!
Hi guys. Yeah, we were literally just finishing making food, so
Yeah, and I'm literally in the
we'll be
middle.
shoving our faces full.
I'm literally in the middle of.
Yeah, it's strange. It's already March.
Hey, listen, if you gotta eat, then eat. Get it how you
like
live.
Mm-hmm. Let's not forget.
Listen, we got homemade potato fries, so yeah.
Not bad, not bad at all. I'm glad that sounds tasty, there, ladies. Let's not forget our special guest joining us tonight. An incredible and inspirational figure to us here. An Emmy award-winning documentarian, filmmaker, a rabble rouser, the former vice mayor of the city of Clearwater, Florida, and the host of Xenu TV right here on YouTube, and also a living meme himself. Let's give it a warm welcome once more to Mr. Mark Bunker!
Woo!
Please stay seated.
Good to have you with us, Mark. It's been a while. Thank you for taking the time to make it up for us again once more time since last week.
And I'll stand with you.
No, you sit down. Thank you again, Mark, for joining us here tonight, sir. We do appreciate it immensely, and it's great to have you on, sir. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be back.
Appreciate it a bunch. And let's not forget, of course, the man who started it all, the founder of the Ravens flock, executive producer and content manager of our channel. I have a piece of fish hanging out. The host of Wrestle Rewind, live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and host of the Ravens Flock, live every Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Give it up for Mr. Jose Casabona!
Thank you very much.
Zoom this time.
Thank you very much for that warm introduction. Happy to be here with all my friends and all our viewers watching at home. And happy to be here on a very different setting here. I prefer the term intimate.
Well, I'm not intimidated.
Juan, you simple creature. You wouldn't know a joke. You wouldn't know a joke if it hit you in the head.
Jose, I know a joke very well. I have always known a joke all my life. I know comedy.
So it's like looking at a mirror, right?
Oh gosh.
I'm cutting your mic.
No. Come on. Don't be like that.
I'm gonna be like that all I want. I don't give a damn.
All right. Well, plug me back in.
Here, you plug back in. Hang on.
You need to do the housekeeping.
Yes, I do. Go on.
All right, folks, like all our other shows, we are simulcasting on YouTube and Kick. So hit the subscribe or the follow button at the bottom right corner of your screen. Click the bell icon to enable notifications. Leave your questions and comments below. We'll answer as many as we can. And if you wish to go above and beyond to support the Ravens flock, then you can become an inner flocker. And for $4.99 a month, you'll have access to all the perks that comes with our membership. Juan, tell them.
Well, for all the interflockers we've got in our chat, and I know we have plenty, go ahead and show off those lovely membership badges and custom emojis, letting everybody know that you're here to help rescue the Ravens flock from the clutches of late-stage capitalism to become full-time streamers. Since 2013, we've been working hard, staying strong, and making your voice our mission. The only thing standing in our way is the fact that we have to work 9-to-5 jobs just to keep the lights on. However, there is a way to resolve this, and all it requires is what you guys have been doing this whole time, which is continuing to support us here. Just spread the word of the Ravens flock. Do exactly what I'm sending in the chat. Support us by liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell for all our alerts. If it's within your means, you can also donate to us in our tip jar on PayPal. You can donate to us through our Cash App if that's more your speed. But more importantly, just like I said, spread the word of the Ravens flock. It lets people know that you have a passion for everything involving geek culture, nerd culture, pop culture, and everything in between, and also that you care about speaking truth to power at the same time. That's what we do here on the Black Files. We hone in on one major story in the world of popular culture, whatever it may be, and we zero in on it without any sort of compromise. Just let people know about this stuff, and the more subscribers we have, the more interflockers coming out of it, and before we know it, we'll be completely self-sustaining. So with your help, we can and will succeed. You also get access to Members First and Members-Only content, a special discount to our merch store, link in the description below, right there. And you also get access to us, the Ravens flock, your favorite motley crew of nerds, here to make your voice our mission by providing us your thoughts, your feedback, and your ideas to better shape the future of this channel to suit your tastes and needs.
And check it out, our live chat is already blowing up.
All right, so let's see here. We've got Nikki Bella holding it down. I see Lisa Boo. I see Kyle in the chat. Hey up, folks. Welcome. We appreciate you. Ulysses Fart Knocker, thank you for joining us. And I see quite a few fresh faces as well. Lupita T, welcome to the Black Files. We lost Mark. No, we didn't. Mark is still here. Mr. Bunker is still on the Zoom call. It's just that Angel was the last person who was speaking. So if I were to set the view of it to look like that, then that's how you guys would see all four of us. But it's simpler for folks to just be able to hone in on one other person on the screen at a time, even when we're all rattling and stuff. So I've got my Zoom call set up that way. Let's see, who else do we have in the Zoom call? I want to see these people. I want to know them.
You mean the live chat?
I meant to say the live chat. Thank you.
It's okay.
Rachel, woohoo! Welcome to the Black Files. JB808, how's it going? Welcome. Let's see here. Kelly BC, how's it going? A galactic treasure. Appreciate that. I know that Mark is an incredible guy, so that's why we're thankful here. G Buddy Neverin. G Buddy Neverin, welcome to the Black Files. We appreciate you here,
folks. If this is your first time, don't forget. Please go ahead and hit the like and the subscribe button so that you can be, and also click the notification bell so you can be up to date on all of our content. We stream 4 shows every week.
And Christina KURF, I'm guessing that's a radio station. Mark Bunker is doing great work. He's doing the Lord's work. He's doing an excellent public service by making sure that folks are made fully aware of what kind of nutballs there are in the world, and sadly, the kind of nutballs who are in power in the world, who just so happen to subscribe to a particular,
well, let's not kid ourselves.
Loosely calling religious view. Very, very loose.
Okay, well, let's be realistic, Juancho. We deal with a lot of nutballs. I mean, like, 90% of our entire world is full of nutballs, and it takes a lot out of us.
Yeah, it really does. Like, okay, we're not scared of calling out anybody on the Black Files, whether they're heads of a shady religious sect, quote unquote, even though they're much more interested in real estate portfolios and celebrity endorsements. Fuckers. We're not afraid of calling out cosplayers who are sexual predators. We are not afraid of calling out convention owners who are also sexual predators. We're not afraid of calling out corporations. We're not afraid of calling out our own friends. We're not afraid of calling each other out. Jose, what are you looking at your phone for? How dare you?
I was actually handling serious business.
Oh yeah, well I'm calling you out for this. So haha, take that. Oh, serious business. Business. Oh, my bad.
Okay. That was a misfire there, sir.
Only a little. But you know, it's not...
We're not afraid, but we're also not young. We need a heavy dose of energy to keep that fire going.
You're not wrong, and which is why we here at the Ravens Flock are very proud to once again be partnered up with our friends at Glitch Energy. Glitch Energy's specially formulated smart energy blend keeps you running strong all day long, just like us here at the Ravens Flock, with zero sugar, zero carbs, zero calories, zero lag, and zero crash. And make sure you do yourself a favor, when you go to glitchenergy.com, make sure that you have them bookmarked, because you never know when they'll drop a brand new flavor on you. And if I'm not mistaken, they had literally just dropped one
last week.
Yeah, over this weekend here.
On Saturday, we presented a new flavor from Glitch Energy called the Zombie Stomp, and it is based off of the
they're a team of gamers who specialize in VR gaming. They're called Tribe Gray, if I'm reading that correctly here. Yeah, and this is a cherry limeade flavored Glitch Energy here. See, you can see it from there.
That's right.
So the folks at Tribe Grey Wolf, Tribe Grey Wolf, right? They're pretty fun folks. I started watching some of their stuff. They're all right.
And much like our channel, they're also transparent with all of their nutritional facts. That's in the back.
They don't hide any of their ingredients over at Glitch Energy. They want you to be informed. They respect their customers, and they want you to know exactly what it is they're offering to you and exactly what it is you're going to be putting in your body, because trust me when I say the last thing you want is to be overloaded with nothing but caffeine and alleged flavors that really resemble industrial engine degreasers.
That's right. And of course, the best part is if you go to glitchenergy.com and use our promo code FlockFuel, you will receive a 20% discount on your order. So don't delay. Start off the month of March by going to glitchenergy.com, get your hands on the Zombie Stomp, and give your body the energy it needs to not only battle zombies, but also to go through the daily grinds that zaps your energy away. We want to thank Glitch Energy for partnering with the Ravens Flock. We'll see you at the next zombie apocalypse.
The next one? Wait, you're expecting one now? When did the first one happen? Did I miss something?
My bad. I went a little ahead of myself there. but
It's called bath salts. That's when the first one happened.
Bath salts were when the first one started.
Oh yeah, I remember. Wait, I thought it was a combination of bath salts and that weird.
Your brain broke for a second.
What's up?
Your brain broke for a second.
Yeah, no.
Hey, listen, man. You throw enough fentanyl at pro, and you can create any kind of apocalypse.
No, it's not fentanyl. It's literally like spiked bath salts that somebody decided to huff. Or was it that one issue where it's like someone tried to make a synthetic heroin and it ends up scaling your skin? Or am I
I remember that one. That happened like right after the bath salts problem.
I think it's called Crocodile.
Yeah, well, as you can see, there's plenty of different combinations of non pharmaceutically approved drugs that can cause the worst kind of troubles. However, we're not talking about the kinds of drugs that are bad for you and you clearly shouldn't be doing. That's why I don't do drugs. Unless the ones that are prescribed to me. But what we are discussing are people who basically try to poo-poo on any kind of medication, any kind of pharmaceutical. Specifically, one motherfucker. Tonight we're going to be talking about the brand new Secretary of Health and Human Services, Mr. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And as you can tell from the thumbnail tonight, we're going to be seeing a closer look into his apparent possible ties to the Church of Scientology, which is why Mr. Bunker was so gracious as to join us tonight to help us with filling out the field and all this.
Thank you,
Jane,
kindly.
so when does this start? It's happening right now, Cool Jane. Welcome to the Black Files.
Yeah, Cool Jane. Patience is a virtue, you know.
It's all good. We got you. We got you covered. So first things first. I'm going to let you guys know right now. We tried to do this last week. We were having computer issues. We were blaming Xenu. No, I'm not. No, it's literally just computer problems. But we're giving it a shot again to make sure that we can actually get it done right. And again, thanks to Mark for helping be here tonight and filling out some of the shadier details involving RFK's alleged associates over here. And I have to say alleged because, like, I don't want to get fucking sued.
Because nothing at this point, at the moment, nothing is confirmed.
Right, except of course for money, which I can point out for you.
Oh
guys.
yeah, no. There is no disputing numbers.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So, first off, who knows about right off the top of your head with all with what because everyone in the Ravens flock, y'all have heard the different stories and crazy shit that the Church of Scientology had been up to over the years. Do you guys remember what I told y'all about Operation Snow White?
Yep.
Yes. But since, we're doing this episode right now, and since our last week was cut, we can explain to our viewers who don't know.
All right. Mark, would you like to field this one?
On Operation Snow White?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
I'd be happy to.
Appreciate it.
So, back in the 70s, L. Ron Hubbard and his delightful Guardian's office, this was the dirty tricks department of Scientology, they decided that they would get Scientologists employed in government agencies like the IRS, the FBI, all these different groups that had been looking at Scientology's unethical and perhaps illegal behavior. And they didn't have to get assigned to a high-ranking post. They just needed to get in their foot in the door. And for 2 years, they had operatives who were stealing records from the IRS and the FBI and Interpol. And they were caught. And the top 11 people in Scientology, including L. Ron Hubbard's wife, Mary Sue Hubbard, went to prison for 10 years for these activities against the U.S. government. And it's astonishing what they managed to get away with. And if you were to go on the internet and search for the stipulation of evidence in this case, it's a lengthy document that explores every step of the way, what was done, who did it, who were unindicted co-conspirators in this, including one of the attorneys who is works with RFK Jr. It's astonishing to see. This was the biggest covert action ever taken against the U.S. government at that point.
And if I'm reading this... sorry, go on. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry,
no,
go on.
That's okay.
Right, I was actually looking it up at the same time. And if I'm not mistaken, there was 5,000 different members of Scientology who were involved in this in total?
Well, I'm not really sure of that. But there were a great number of people involved in the Guardian's office who took part in this. A lot of unindicted co-conspirators as well. Ultimately, everybody at the top went to prison except for L. Ron Hubbard, who let his wife take the fall for him. And he ran off and hid in the desert for the last 10 years of his life, because that's the type of guy L. Ron Hubbard was.
A wimp.
Yep.
Face responsibility for my actions or die alone in the frozen sands. Dying alone it is.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Yeah, the fact that that Hubbard was so callous as to allow his wife to take the hit for him, and while he weaseled off to God knows where, that just goes to show you, like I said, no character, no sense of plenty of sense of self-preservation, but no sense of loyalty, no sense of honor,
no sense of responsibility.
So go figure. But then again, for anyone who knows anything regarding the inner workings of Scientology, this is par for the course. This is nothing new for them. And
of course, never my fault is practically the motto of what they exist for. And considering what the Secret Service would have done to him if they got their hands on his ass, well, prison would have been the least of his worries. So he just cut and run, abandoned everything and everybody because everybody had already abandoned him.
And just to give folks a little bit of a primer for this, I did manage to grab from like the Wikipedia page the link that gave me that 5,000 agents number. I'm gonna pull that up and I'm gonna bring it to the folks into the chat so y'all can, if you wish to read this old article from Time Magazine, archived from January 31st, 1983. You'll be able to see it on your own time, on your own dime.
My goodness.
Yeah. So while that gets loading over here, the fact that you did mention unindicted co-conspirators who were involved in Operation Snow White here, the people of interest that we've got were actually mentioned in last week's actually no, not last week, but back on February 17th. In the article from RFK, from Tony Ortega's Substack called "The Underground Bunker," and this is where the bulk of the data from this expose is coming from, and it doesn't give you any sort of doesn't waste time in letting you know exactly where it's coming from here. And for folks, if you want to see it, I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat as well. Yeah. Let me just go ahead and show you here. So go ahead if you want to read this off to folks, Zay.
Yeah,
this is right here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, headline reads, yes, RFK Jr.'s ties to Scientology sordid past and his unity on its goals today.
All right, and of course, written out by Tony Ortega himself. Go right ahead, Zay.
In late January, as Robert F. Kennedy was going through Senate hearings before he was confirmed as the nation's top health official and will lead the Department of Health and Human Services, some of the toughest questioning was about his connections to a law firm by the name of Wisner Baum. Senator Elizabeth Warren was particularly focused on whether RFK Jr. would continue to receive consulting fees from Wisner Baum, who is suing Merck, the makers of Gardasil, and the HPV vaccine. CB.
All right, so yeah, now and I'll show you guys exactly what's up. So, on the one hand, it might not look like much. It was anyone thinking like, okay, so RFK Jr. He's tied up with a law firm, and apparently he has a financial interest with these guys. But this Wisner Baum, if I'm not mistaken, these guys are this law firm. The founder of this law firm are the ones who are also the unindicted co-conspirators. Isn't that right, Mark?
At least Baum is. And in the stipulation of evidence, it talks about how he was, one of these people who got fake IDs for the IRS. So he could come in at night, and there were at least 3 visits I think he made in a week. And what they would do is in the middle of the night, they would go into the IRS office, or in this case, I think it was Interpol, and they would go through the files, finding anything that had to do with Scientology. And then they would go to the 4th floor to the photocopy machine and make copies of all the records that these agencies had on Scientology, and then turn them back into Scientology. And this went on for 2 years before this operation was uncovered. And they had bugged the IRS so they could listen into tax-exempt status meetings. And it's just astonishing what they got away with until they didn't get away with it anymore. And it is remarkable that these top 11 people went to prison over this, and Scientology survived that scandal. Because not only were they investigating and doing covert operations against the U.S. government, but also against the government in Clearwater, Florida. They had massive attacks and covert operations against the then mayor, Gabe Casares, a fellow that I got to know once I moved to Clearwater, and he was always a hero of mine to begin with. He was the first one to discover that this group called United Churches of Florida, who had purchased the historic Fort Harrison Hotel, it took about a month before he discovered that this was really Scientology using a fake name to buy the property there. And once he discovered this ruse and the public became aware that Scientology had lied their way into the city, there was a big uproar about this. And Gabe tried very hard to get somebody in the state government and the federal government to help, because this was a massive international, global scam.
Like the likes of which hadn't been done in ages, in almost ever.
Yeah.
Like you said, it was the single largest infiltration, not just of like the city of Clearwater, but of the entire U.S. government. If I'm not mistaken, to date, there still hasn't been anything since. So, well,
there have been some bigger things since then, mostly on the state level, though. I mean, countries doing this type of thing, not a cult. I mean, this is pretty remarkable to have an organization like Scientology pull off this nonsense, or even try to pull it off. And the fact that this became a huge story nationwide, and especially in Clearwater, where locally the people who lived here were outraged, and they were, filling up the local stadium to hear people like Paulette Cooper, the first woman who wrote one of the earliest books about Scientology. Her life was turned upside down by Scientology. They attacked her viciously and tried to either get her arrested, put in an insane asylum, or drive her to suicide. And they almost succeeded with all the covert operations they ran against her. So this is an incredibly nasty, dangerous organization that deserved to be dismantled at that point.
It should have ended.
But somehow they managed to escape and continue to prosper after that, at least financially, because they had a gigantic war against the IRS, which I believe they won in '93. And since then, Scientology was about to be bankrupt if they had to pay the back taxes they owed the government. But instead, Miscavige put every single effort that he could into taking down the IRS, and eventually he managed to do that. So the IRS buckled, they got their tax exemption status, and now Scientology has $3 or $4 billion in the bank, even though the number of members who are part of Scientology continue to shrink year after year. They've got some wealthy people who keep Scientology in business.
Now, the whole thing with Paulette Cooper, I remember explicitly, that was that had actually been publicized as well. That was Operation Freakout. Am I right?
Right. Yes.
Okay. And I did double check also because, like you said, it was in about 1993 when Scientology received their tax exempt status. And I remember actually seeing, it was forever ago, a video on YouTube, which was like the announcement video. It looks like David Miscavige had done it in front of the whole world with everyone to see as like this big, great announcement. And we've got a great victory for the church. And it was a big celebration, a whole hullabaloo about nothing. And I'll bet, I'm pretty sure there's a safe bet that the ill-gotten gains from Operation Snow White, where they had grabbed documentations out of the IRS, probably played no small part in how they managed to weasel in their tax-exempt status about 20 years later. But that's just a supposition.
Well, they had a massive attack on the IRS that brought the IRS to its knees, and that included having PIs following around IRS agents, digging up dirt on everyone they could who was part of the IRS. They had infomercials that they were playing on the air that Miscavige would host about if you know something about the corrupt IRS, contact us. And
with him looking also official, not like a weird pod-born nutcase. Or like he looks like what you would. And even to this day, if you were to type in "evil corporate executive," he's like the stock footage photo of that. You could type it.
It's amazing that after all these years, somebody actually did something against the IRS, and it turns out to be people even more corrupt than the IRS.
Go figure.
Disappointment cannot be. My disappointment is immeasurable. For once, somebody screws over the government, and it's something just as bad, if not worse. Incredible.
Good grief.
So what happened right at the end there in this battle with the IRS? Individual Scientologists, I think a couple thousand of them, launched individual lawsuits against the IRS, and that's when the head of the IRS said, all right, Uncle, if you call off all these lawsuits, we will give you your tax-exempt status. And that's how they managed to do it. And they have more rights now than any other religion, because part of the agreement that the government made with Scientology is that all of Scientologists' auditing and all of the courses that they take on how to improve their life, how to have a better marriage, how to do any number of things, all of those things are tax deductible. And so there was a Jewish family, the Sklar family, Sklar, just north of LA somewhere, who sued many years ago saying, well, we want to deduct our child's Jewish education from our taxes because of, Scientology can do this. And they went to trial, and the judge in that case said, well, yeah, it's incredibly unfair. And Scientology has this right that no other religion has, and it's something that should be looked at the higher level. But has anything happened with that? No. Scientology still manages to
have
skate
a monopoly on that.
Mm-hmm.
So you mean to tell me that even with the Sklar family leveling this lawsuit and using the Church of Scientology's ability to write off basically everything short of going to the bathroom as a religious exercise that's tax exempt, the Sklar family still couldn't land the case?
Yeah, the judge said, this is unjust and it should be looked at by the Supreme Court. But there's nothing that I can handle. What I can do is say that, the law says you can't deduct your child's education. So that's what he could rule on. Was Scientology a party to the case where he could have Scientology come to court and deal with them? No, they were not part of the case.
No, they were just used as like a reference to the case to allow for it. Yeah. So yeah, go figure. It was like no skin off their back. That's just like a small sample of the insane amount of governmental corruption and infiltration that the Church of Scientology already has. Now they've got someone who's close to the presidency, who's in the line of succession. I don't know how long it'll take on there, but who's even in there who could influence policy for favoring the Church of Scientology, and that's not cool in any way.
No, it's not cool, and I say this with no hint of excitement or exaggeration that this all reeks like supervillain cartoon levels of evil.
Scientology feels like those big mega churches that people don't like from Christianity, but if somebody made a religion that was nothing but that, just a big dumb mega church full of lights and sounds and lots of money laundering.
You're not wrong.
Now we got to get back to RFK on this one. Let me
All
let me actually get in on this.
I can take care of this.
Yeah.
Sorry.
From
there?
Yeah, from this point, Jose.
All right.
Back in the Tony Ortega article.
Yep.
To let you all in on where everything stands over here. So.
All right, so let's see here. All right, so right there? Thank
Yep.
you. All right, so one of them was a young Scientology spy by the name of Michael Baum. When the Snow White defendants pleaded guilty in 1979 rather than go to trial, they signed a stipulation of evidence, which was a detailed description of what the government found they had done over the course of the program. In that stipulation, the government explained how Scientology operatives repeatedly, for example, broke into Interpol offices in order to steal records regarding Mr. Hubbard. This
is everything that that Mark had actually covered here. But check this next bit here.
Like another of the indicted operatives, Kendrick Moxenbaum went on to become an attorney, and today is a partner at Wisner Baum. Scientology records indicate that by 1991, he had achieved, quote, OT6, one of the highest, quote, operating thetan auditing levels on Scientology's, quote, bridge to total freedom.
You don't have to keep saying quote. We get
All right.
Yeah, I believe they would be quite irked if you kept mispronouncing Phaeton at them. So I think you should keep going.
Gee, thanks. The Wisner in the law firm's name is for Brent Wisner, a young man, but also an OT Scientologist. In 2019, Wisner Baum won a lawsuit against Monsanto over its weed killer Roundup, saying that it had caused cancer in users. Kennedy was a consultant on the case, and after the victory, he posted this photo of his Facebook to his Facebook account, which includes Brett Wisner, second from the left, Michael Baum, third from the left, and Kennedy himself, second from the right.
So you all see him? Like, there's Wisner right here in the yellow tie.
That's Michael Baum.
No, that's Michael Baum. My bad. Baum's the yellow tie.
No, Michael Baum is the skinny guy right here. I know the picture.
Yeah, you're cutting me off. I'm trying to point to the right guy.
All right, sorry. Go on.
I was pointing to the right guy, and you threw me off. So yeah, Wisner is the gentleman in the yellow tie. Here's Michael Baum with the blue tie, and here's Robert F. Kennedy Jr. right himself. So. Clearly, he did have a hand in that a Roundup lawsuit, and that was a big lawsuit, if I'm not mistaken, because the Monsanto lawsuit, it was found to have been causing carcinogens to be found in people's food and stuff. So that's where the lawsuit actually ended up from there. So. Yeah. I believe I should take this quote. And yes, I'm going to do my impersonation of RFK Jr. If you are sensitive to in the ears, if you do not enjoy the sound of a horrible blender having gravel running through it at high speed while catching a strep throat, then I apologize in advance. But I'm going to go ahead and give it my best. I've watched many of the great trial lawyers, but none better than Brent. Judges and juries love him for his integrity, lightning fast wit, easy humor, infectious laugh, and boy of magnetism. Kennedy wrote about the photo.
Well, God, that hurt.
And if anyone...
You made me cringe. I could imagine him talk.
And if anyone thinks that I'm exaggerating, by the way, of how he sounds with me doing that voice, I dare you to look him up. I invite you to do so at your own peril.
He makes that character Crochet from Yu-Gi-Oh! Sound like a delicate angel.
Yeah, I actually saw him live. I've never seen him speak, like, in video. He was on the news, and I actually got to see him talk for the first time. I told Juan, I'm like, Juan, what the heck is...
It's so awful.
I warned you.
All right.
It's worse than it sounds.
It's not pleasant. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, so RFK Jr. and Weisner-Baum. So they teamed up a couple. They teamed up once on one lawsuit. Big whoop. What's his interest in them? In them, and how does it work in terms of tying Scientology into it? Well, as the old adage goes, but wait, there's more.
All right, here we go. All right, get back to where you left off with that freaking... Oh, my God. Here we go. So Wisner and Baum are also at the center of a controversy we wrote about for the Daily Beast in August. For years, the law firm has been pursuing litigation against the two small companies that manufacture the devices used in ECT, a life-saving treatment that puts small doses of electricity into the brains of severely depressed patients. Scientology hates psychiatry with a white-hot passion, and it has long been the organization's greatest desire to destroy ECT. If they can put the two small device manufacturers out of business, we explained in the Daily Beast story, doctors will have no choice but to stop using their machines, making ECT unavailable in this country and probably the rest of the world. It is Weisner-Baum that is leading that litigation effort and has been for years.
Real quick, in the chat, question from Rochelle. Mark, when did you first recognize Scientology as a family-destroying cult and decide to take action?
Well, I first became aware of them in 1980 when 60 Minutes did a piece on Scientology's takeover of Clearwater. But then there were no books that I was aware of. There was nothing else to do any research with. So I just had that tucked in the back of my mind. And then in the late 90s, when I was living in LA, I started to really get involved in it. It turned out that I moved into a home in the Hollywood Hills in 98, and a Scientologist had lived there right before me. So I used to get all of her junk mail because she didn't apparently want to give a forwarding address to Scientology. So I would get all the celebrity magazines and read the ads for e-meters and all this kind of stuff. So that piqued my interest again. And I started doing more research. By then, there were some great books to read, including L. Ron Hubbard, Messiah or Madman, and Russell Miller's Barefaced Messiah, which I think is my favorite of the books. Along with Paulette Cooper's original Scandal of Scientology from decades earlier. And it became more and more fascinating to me, and I started popping into some of the properties in LA, like Big Blue, which is the old Cedars of Lebanon Hospital that is now one of their main buildings there. I would just wander in and go, what goes on in here? And then they would give me tours and sit me down and let me watch the orientation video, which is hysterical. So I just became more fascinated with it. And at that period in 98, I had some video capture and editing equipment, which was relatively rare at that point. And I'm not a great writer, but I thought, here's how I can help with the cause. I can, there were a couple other pieces that CBS did right around that time, one on 60 Minutes about Scientology's takeover of the Cult Awareness Network, and then one on another CBS show Bryant Gumbel hosted called Public Eye that was about the death of Lisa McPherson. So I captured those and put those online, and that's really what started my involvement in it. And I hid my I hid my name for at least a year before they found out who I was, and then came to my home to picket me. And at that point, I said, well, okay, well, I'm in. I was terrified of Scientology until that moment, because I'd read what they did to people who take them on. But as soon as they confronted me, I went, okay, well, this is actually pretty simple. And so I really haven't had any fear of them at all since then.
All right. I don't want to derail too much because we do need to get to the matter. But I do want to piggyback, and I want to actually follow up on that question from the chat. Now, Mr. Bunker, if you were to recommend a book for anyone who wants to learn, for fresh eyes, for anyone who wants to learn about the underbellies of things going on with Scientology, which book would you recommend that they start with?
Well, the one that I think is the easiest read and most fun read is Barefaced Messiah, which is a biography of Hubbard that is incredibly readable, and it also, of course, goes into every aspect of Scientology. And there have been so many books since then. Going Clear is a major book, which was turned into a great documentary on HBO. So you might want to consider starting out by watching that documentary, Going Clear. Or check out Leah Remini's TV series, Leah Remini Scientology in the Aftermath. A lot of times, getting to see and hear the stories of people makes a huge difference in understanding exactly what pain this group can cause. And that's why I've relied on video over the decades, because I think it's important for you to see these people tell their stories and have that human connection. But my God, there's so many great books out there. There's a number of former Scientologists who have fun books like Blown for Good by Mark Headley. Mark Headley escaped from their desert compound where he had been working at Golden Era Studios. And the book that he wrote he's got a great sense of humor. So it's an entertaining book and also scary to think about what life is like for these people who sign a 1 billion-year service contract. So if you just start looking for books, you'll find a wealth of great stories to read.
Yeah, I remember the commotion from Mark Headley's announcing his book, and I remember how much of a big deal it was because we're getting more and more insight from people leaving the church or getting excommunicated, whichever way you want to spin that story, however it goes, but really trying to escape, trying to break free from getting away from Scientology's grasp. And if I remember correctly, he used to work at the what was it called? The Gold Compound? Where is it? I'm trying to remember.
The Golden Era. It's Golden Era Studios where they make all the. Yeah, but it's also known as the Gold Base.
Right. And that's like their key headquarters for producing all their material, printing out new copies of Dianetics, coming up with all their instructional videos and all their content that they would put out. That's where they have everything zeroed in at that one locale, if I remember correctly.
Well, I mean, there's an actual film studio there that is pretty well stocked. In fact, the fellow who directed a lot of these Scientology films has his own YouTube channel now, and I've talked with him. He's got plenty of stories to share, and I'm trying to think of the name of his channel. Somebody will have it out there. Somebody will know. But it's well worth checking out to get a view of what life is like there at the studio. There's also other facilities now they've purchased, like the old KCET PBS station in LA. They've purchased that and turned that into a manufacturing place for a lot of their materials. But also, the Gold Base is where you've got all the top executives of the Sea Org. They're kind of stationed there. And that's where it's the craziest. This is where Hubbard fled when his wife went to prison.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I remember. That's where they got everyone's. That's the home of the Rehabilitation Project Force, RPF.
Well, the Rehabilitation Project Force, they've got scattered anywhere where there's Scientology, really. It started when Hubbard was running Scientology from C. But anywhere there's any type of Scientology presence, you can be put on the RPF, Rehabilitation Project Force.
Right.
Right.
Right. It's not that you wouldn't be. It's not that you wouldn't necessarily be holed up over there. Okay, I remember now.
All right, and don't worry, folks.
Well, yeah,
but
but I'm sorry. On the gold base, though, the RPF there. I mean, this is where top executives were forced to live in a double wide trailer where they worked, but they would be sleeping under their desks and being fed rice and beans. And some people went through that for like 2 years. Mike Rinder is one of the executives who eventually fled Scientology, but was a long-time executive in Scientology and ran the Office of Special Affairs, which was the new name for the Guardian's Office, the folks who broke into the IRS and the FBI.
All about rebranding.
He wrote a great book that's well worth picking up.
Right. Was that Mike Rinder? No, it was
Mike. Yeah, it was Mike Rinder.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, no, I was like, it was either Mike Rinder or Marty Rathbun. I got the two mixed up.
Marty. Yeah, they both worked together, and they teamed up for a while when both of them had left Scientology, but eventually it seems like Marty went back to Scientology, at least doing their dirty work for them.
All right, and yes, we do see the chat, folks. We're going to get to the questions in just a bit. We actually need to get back on this on track.
Before, I think we can answer this other question from Kelly BC real quick.
All right.
That's another question for you, Mark. Mark, what are your thoughts on the Leah Remini lawsuit and COS not filing their appeal? Do you think they're settling?
Oh, actually, I have to confess I don't know anything about that, really. I just saw Aaron Smith-Levin had a video asking that question today, apparently, is Scientology settling with Leah? I'm not exactly sure what that lawsuit is about. I know that they have gone after Leah big time ever since she became one of their major defectors and a royal pain in their ass. And she's done a remarkable job with her book, with her TV series that she did with Mike Rinder. And I was also thrilled to have her endorsement when I ran for office in Clearwater. That made a huge difference. So she has done remarkable work. And I if there is a lawsuit, if there is any type of settlement for her, that would be sweet.
Yeah, truthfully,
I hope whatever it would be, though, would not come with any type of gag order, because I can't imagine her being gagged.
I would imagine she would, with as much attitude and as much vigor that she's had with her criticism of Scientology over the years, I would imagine that the last thing she would accept would be a gag order in any sort of form, even if it meant a settlement. I'm pretty sure that's the last thing that she would agree to. But that's just my layman's opinion without any sort of intimate knowledge of the situation or the case itself. Also, hi there, Dusty Lane. Welcome to the Black Files. We appreciate you joining us tonight. Thank you for being there. And she also said thank you to whoever gave me a membership. I think that was Kyle.
That was Kyle Canada. Last week on the Ravens Flock, he did gift 5 memberships.
Yep.
And
so again, thank you, Kyle, for gifting those.
Yeah.
Right, now we need to get back to how this ties in with RFK Jr. And we're getting a pretty clear picture of okay, there's clearly enough of an alignment between the interests of Scientology through his involvement with Weiser Baum's lawsuits against the companies that manufacture the ECT equipment. So that clearly does go against the way Scientology believes that psychiatry is harming everyone, that it's Nazi science, and that it's built on they're destroying babies' brains by electrocuting everyone. Obviously RFK, he's got his own ideas of how medicine and how the field of mental health should be handled, and we'll get to that in a moment if you haven't heard. We actually need to get on this over here.
All right, no worries.
This is fun here, Jose. You know how to pick up over here from the
not a problem.
The Underground Bunker article.
So continuing with the article here from the Underground Bunker. Meanwhile, Scientology cheers on those efforts through its unhinged front group that agitates against psychiatry. Citizens Commission.
Well, see, now we know we gotta be against them, because anything that they are cheering for is not something I want to trust into.
Yeah.
So that would be their company, their little cadre called the Citizens Commission on Human Rights. That's such a benign name. That's so benevolent. It's only people wanting to promote human rights, and it's just concerned citizens, and they're promoting human rights, which specifically deals with getting rid of antidepressants and stuff, apparently.
Wow, sounds as credible as Doge. Anyways, so CCHR not only constantly harasses the medical profession for its use of ECT, but also for the prescription of antidepressants known as SSRIs, claiming, for example, that any mass murder, especially those at schools, are the result of such psychiatric drugs. Scientific evidence does not support this, but it's one of the shibboleths of the anti-psychiatry movement that psych drugs cause mass murders. And now, as soon as Kennedy...
Hold on, Angel, go ahead.
Yeah.
So go ahead. Sorry, Nopi. Go ahead.
Okay. And now, as soon as Kennedy was confirmed to lead the HHS, the White House issued an executive order that lists the things it wants him to accomplish, and among those goals is taking aim at antidepressants.
As Mother Jones pointed out, this claim about antidepressants and shootings has been one of Kennedy's obsessions, and if you read the executive order, it could almost come out of a CCHR pamphlet. Angel, you were going to say something real quick. Go ahead.
I was going to say that thank you kindly, Joe, for speaking of this article, because it connects to something that Mr. Bunker said just a minute ago. The realization that Scientology doesn't just work through power. Their main weapon has always been fear. Fear of being confronted, fear of being accused, fear of being attacked for their beliefs. So they always try to inflict that fear on somebody else. The fact that their main proposition for the medical field boils down to all these kids in schools are getting shots because of the antidepressants. It's literally trying to appeal to the fear of the civilian populace. Nobody wants to hear that a school got shut up when they wake up in the morning. People want to find a quick and easy solution for it. So when somebody in power tells you it's clearly the medication, that means they're trying to manipulate you into immediately assuming that because the experts, and I'm putting heavy quotations here, the people in the suits are telling you the truth, because obviously there has to be a reason. Obviously it has to be X, Y, and Z. Why? Because the person in the high governmental position of authority told me. See, that's why when Mark went to confront them, at first he was worried. But then when you finally got to see the kind of people they were, you're like, I'm not afraid of them anymore. And suddenly their power over you diminishes greatly, because that's what cults do. They rely on fear and separation. And here we have a person with a lot of power in a government position trying to push their own agenda because they are convinced that the pills that make your brain work properly are the reason some crazy kid is grabbing a gun and shooting their own classmates. It's fear-mongering. And it's fear-mongering that has money behind it. That's what makes it so terrifying.
And this whole attack on psychiatry is really because when L. Ron Hubbard wrote Dianetics, the Modern Science of Mental Health, back in 1950, it was the psychiatric community that read it and said, well, this is a bunch of crap. And so they became enemy number one. And he has tried to destroy them as the competition ever since. So in Hubbard's view now, the evil psychs were behind every horrific thing that's ever happened to mankind, whether it's the Holocaust, 9/11, Xenu blowing us up in a volcano. It was the psychs behind it. And it's nonsense that followers of Hubbard believe. Oh yeah,
And that's
these drugs, they're horrific.
And that's that's the really depressing part, is because when folks can't find themselves in a position where they can think clearly, where they can be logical, when like Angel said, when they're so enraptured by fear and uncertainty and doubt, they'll latch on to whoever comes off as most authoritative and whoever can come off with like the easiest fix. And yeah, that sounds exactly right up Scientology's alley.
And I agree. Zayana Rosa Dragonfang, do you concur?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a fucking...
They definitely do fearmonger a lot. And like, I've never actually met, I've never been near any of their buildings, but we did find out that one of our high school friends is a Scientologist. She's completely stuck in there. I will not mention her name, but I feel bad for her.
I hope that she eventually finds a way out of that mess.
Scientology. I used to going to vet tech school. I used to go at the downtown Clearwater with the bus station, and it was right a few steps away from the building.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would have to watch all of these Scientology people just glare, basically saying, "Get off of our land." And
It's time to get pissed on the grass.
No! Angel, no, please. No.
Angel, I just
Listen,
had
if they
really
want to
delicious.
glare, I preserve the right to drop down and show them my whole ass.
No!
Call that my religious expression.
Angel, I just ate delicious exotic Pacific whiting fish. Don't make me throw it up.
To run her down, and she almost batted one in the face with her cane. Go, Cranny, go!
You're serious? Oh my god.
Hey, freedom of religion and expression are all well and good, but when you try to force your beliefs on other people, then you just become a jackass. And Scientology has become basically a cult of doing nothing but shoving forcibly beliefs and religions on other people. They are rightfully distrusted because, hell, man, even Christianity had a bad rep, but they don't compare to this nonsense. Think about that for a second.
Well, let me defend Scientologists for a moment, okay?
I was indoctrinated into Scientology.
All right, everyone. Mark, continue.
The majority of Scientologists are really good, smart, dedicated people who really do believe they're saving the planet. Now, I think they're misguided in their beliefs in Hubbard and all the nonsense that he created, but that doesn't mean that they're stupid or that they're bad or anything like that, because these are folks who are pretty idealistic, that are sold the idea that L. Ron Hubbard is going to help create a world without war and without madness. And this is something, well, they get onto this mind control conveyor belt, and their realities get replaced with L. Ron Hubbard's realities. Whereas actually, the majority of Scientologists, almost every one of them that I've met, have been good people, even when they're attacking me viciously. When I ran for city council and I won that, and I asked to be put on the Downtown Development Board, which is a board that is controlled almost entirely, or was controlled, by Scientology. Almost every member on that was a Scientologist. So I said, I'd like to be on that board. And one after another, these powerful Scientologists came into City Hall to say, Mark Bunker is evil. He's Hitler. This is like putting, would be putting, a KKK member on the board. If it was all black people, this is horrific. You cannot let this happen. And they let me be on the board. The rest of the council said, yeah, he can be on the board. And what horrific thing did I do once I was on the board with them for years? Every once in a while I would say, hey, the problem downtown is Scientology, because you've purchased all of these buildings that you're leaving empty now for 7 years. Could you please go to the people who own those buildings and find out what they're going to do with them? That was enough to make the gavel come out and be pounded, make up all these rules to silence me and get rid of me. And it was kind of fascinating to see in action. And ultimately, it undermined that entire board, and they were all disbanded, and the city council took over the position of that. Because if the Scientologists are the problem down in downtown Clearwater, and they're not willing to be the solution, okay, well, let's try something else.
Like, you were playing within the rules. You were well within bounds by saying, like, hey, look, I'm working for the city. I'm trying to figure out, like, what can we do, not just for the Scientologist community in Clearwater, but everyone else under the sun who lives here. We've got developments, we've got different properties here that Scientology basically bought, is leaving dead empty. And I was downtown last year in Clearwater when I was doing that live stream where I left flowers at the Fort Harrison Hotel with in honor of Lisa McPherson, and just walking through that entire area just to like show people what downtown Clearwater looked like. It was depressing. It
was hollow. It looked like a pile of empty shells just hanging out on the streets.
And it was
It
was sad because like that's like the commercial and historical center of one of the major cities in all of Central Florida, and barely anyone even wants to go around there because they feel like we're all being watched. And it was
you are.
Yeah, people find it creepy down there, but I tell you, once you spend a little time downtown, as I did, it just became my downtown. And the Scientologists are more freaked out about us being there than we are of them. The problem is, they don't want anybody who is not a Scientologist downtown, so they've spent $150 million or more to buy these buildings and leave them empty to thwart Clearwater's attempts to bring life downtown. And if you were to go a couple miles north of us to Dunedin, that's a small town with a busy main street. It's thriving, the restaurants and shops, and people love it there. If you go a couple miles the other direction to Safety Harbor, my God, it's a great place for people to go and relax and have fun. That could be downtown Clearwater, but Scientology refuses to let that happen. And that's just wrong. That's criminal.
It's also incredibly petty. You're wasting an astronomical amount of money to make sure people don't erect stores, don't create businesses, don't bring in more traffic. Like it feels genuinely counterproductive too. Like arguably, like, okay, so less people, are they afraid that more people might invite more points of view into their territory, which might result in some more people challenging their way of life?
Yeah, Miscavige doesn't want anybody with prying eyes who might see something hinky going on.
Of course.
And so that's the whole reason behind buying up all these properties, so they can keep it nice and quiet, keep it Scientology's campus, and not having people having fun, people having meals where the Sea Org members will walk by and say, gee, I'd love to eat out sometime. It would be nice not to be working 18 hours a day and making $50 a week. Maybe I should leave Scientology. So,
of course, never let them know that there's something better out there waiting for them.
Yeah. Yep. But, Scientology's got the money, and it's a drop in the bucket for Miscavige to just thwart our city's attempt to bring life to what should be our downtown.
It's really is depressing, and like you guys said, it is counterproductive. I did want to give a shout out real quick. I see Jeannie Rick in the chat. Thank you, Jeannie Rick, and thank you, by the way, for having been a member of the Inner Flocker for 30 months.
Yay! Thanks so much. That's awesome.
And sweet 30 months, Ravens Flock rules. Heart emoji. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much. Really
Much appreciated, my dude.
Let's see. Rachel was saying they were manipulated by the cult and end up brainwashed. Kelly BC saying, what? Scientology being petty? I've never heard of such a thing.
I love the sarcasm.
Yep. No, I could tell lots of sass in there. I appreciate that. Now, with how we all of this madness and how almost all encompassing Scientology's control of Clearwater is, I can only hope that there is enough sanity and there's enough people in the way that doesn't get blown up to a national standard. However, it's not looking good for that hope. As like I mentioned earlier, considering one of the things that RFK Jr. is a big proponent of is apparently wanting to attack SSRIs, and I'll go ahead and I'll even show folks this article from USA Today from February 18th, just to give you all an idea exactly what's happening over here. If anyone missed it, Jose, go ahead.
Yep. In an article from USA Today, the headline reads, Trump, RFK Jr. go after SSRIs in executive order. Here's how they work.
By which they mean the SSRIs.
Yes. Immediately following Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s confirmation as health secretary, President Donald Trump instructed his administration to assess the threat posed to children by the prescription of selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs, antipsychotics, mood stabilizers, stimulants, and weight loss drugs. This came as part of an executive order installing Kennedy's Make America Healthy Again Commission, which aims to end the childhood chronic disease crisis and the over-reliance on medication and treatments. Kennedy's vow to crack down on artificial additives and ultra-processed foods resonated with many voters, but he has been a controversial figure too, repeating conspiracy theories that falsely link vaccines to autism and antidepressants to school shootings. Trump's executive order caused panic among individuals reliant on SSRIs and other psychiatric medications to manage their mental health. So what exactly are SSRIs, and what has RFK Jr. said about the medications in the past? Here's what you need to know.
All right, let's see. Trump's executive order quickly became a trending topic, and while it focused on children and adolescents, the online conversation broadened to include all SSRI usage. One post defending SSRIs garnered upward of 5 million views. Literally would not be alive today without my SSRIs, but that's probably the point. One user posted on Twitter.
SSRIs literally saved my life. I had debilitating depression and anxiety with suicidal ideation, and it has transformed me to be able to handle my mental illness and keep harmful thoughts away, wrote another Twitter user. If they take these medications away, it will cause mass tragedies.
Others tried to assure those concerned that the executive order won't have immediate effects. Quote, I'm on a lot of meds that are specifically mentioned in the order. My point is they're still in the exploratory phase. Nobody's taking away our meds anytime soon, said one Redditor in response to a thread about the news, which was nearing 200 replies. Another tried to calm the heated reactions on Twitter. RFK Jr. has always advocated for medical freedom and informed consent. You can have your SSRIs, but you also deserve to know the side effects. Anyone saying he will ban antidepressants are paid shills. Carry on. I don't think there's anything about being...
No, wow. You had me. It's always the last part, right?
And, like, you had me until you try to accuse everyone of being a paid shill. If that's the case, where's my paycheck? Because I have to take 2 SSRIs daily for both my mental health, dealing with depression, suicidal ideations, but also for my diabetic neuropathy. It helps to take the edge off of the treatment that I'm dealing with. Otherwise, I'm literally aching all day long. And yes, I have other medications that deal directly with the pain inhibition, but the SSRIs, the medications that I'm taking, are the extra edge that the prescriptions that I have needs in order for this stuff to work effectively. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to run around, I wouldn't be able to walk, I wouldn't be able to jump and like be as animated as I usually am. I would literally be a ball of frayed nerves on my bed all day long. So seriously, if I'm a paid shill, where's my check? Come on. just make it out. Just make the check, write it out to the Ravens flock, and just snap a photo.
I think we'll
do a deposit.
That's a little too ambitious, Swan.
How? No, they're saying I'm a paid shill, so pay me.
You know how they always start this sounding somewhat reasonable, and then they try to put in the worst part possible? Notice how the article began with him making like an actual reasonable point, like, hey, man, we got to look into the food and the nutritional needs of the kids because the foods are messing with their mood. And for a certain point, you go, yeah, no, I would like to give my children healthier food, more vegetables, more fruit, less preservatives. And then almost immediately snowballs into, and how about we just start taking medication away? Now, I know for a fact they will not be able to take away these medications. Not because they help people, but because the pharmaceutical industry makes too much money out of them. And you know that when it comes to money, the government is the only leash that it needs. They won't be able to truly make the radical changes they want, but that doesn't mean we got to let them on the hook, because the fact that they are trying to make this change to begin with, out of the fact that this man, despite his somewhat reasonable opinions, immediately snowballs into conspiracy theory over antidepressants and SSRIs, should tell you the kind of mentality they have. This is a person who basically looks at life-saving, psychologically altering medication that has been tested, tried, and proven to work, and goes, yeah, we don't need that. It cannot be trusted.
I'd like to take the floor for a moment, if you don't mind.
Go right ahead.
By all means, please.
For 25 years, I've been helping people who've been abused or defrauded by Scientology. It's a hobby, essentially. Scientology is not a major threat to the country. It's a major threat to some of the people who are part of Scientology. It can break families apart. It can cause, your finances to go right over to Hubbard. Yeah, that's minor compared to what is going on in the country right now, which is so serious. The fact that Robert Kennedy Jr. has a position of power where this nonsense is now the law of the land, essentially, where Trump, who is L. Ron Hubbard, there's not a single thing he says that is the truth. Hello, L. Ron Hubbard. For folks who see that L. Ron Hubbard is a con man, but you don't see that from Trump, I just don't understand it. And to see what Trump is doing to the country right now, and there are probably a lot of Republicans who are upset with me saying this, but this is truly horrifying. Look at what's happened recently, where we see Trump wanting to hand over Ukraine to Putin. And that a scene in the White House where he was attacking Zelensky was horrifying. But now to hear that they've ordered no more intelligence gathering on the Soviet or Russia at all, they have now stopped any sharing of intelligence with Zelensky about the Russian attacks. This is horrific. And that's just one aspect of how he's just altered America's role in the world and the futures that each of us are going to have. We're looking now at the fact that, he says he's not going to touch Social Security, whereas Elon Musk is saying it's a Ponzi scheme. You can't trust what Hubbard says. Hubbard or Trump. You can't trust what Trump
Freudian
says.
slip much? No, not Freudian slip at all. No, that was all.
We're in serious jeopardy now that makes the Scientology thing look like the little nonsense that it is. Yeah. So this is really scary times. And I know there are people who are supporters of me who are probably very upset that I'm saying something like this, because I know when I ran for office, I have Democratic supporters, Republican supporters, independent supporters. Everybody hates Scientology. That's not a problem. And everything that I did in office was to help people. It was not anything that was a Democratic or Republican thing. If they had a problem, I wanted to help them. So there'll be a lot of people who are hardcore Trumpists who will tune me out. And I'm sorry, it's just, things are just too dire in our country right now to be ignoring what's truly happening. Sorry, that's it.
There's no need to apologize. Doesn't matter how people complain about it, you're still free to express yourself. For all the troubles America has, free expression should not be one of them. Even if it pisses them off, you have the right to let your voice be heard.
Freedom of speech. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. We appreciate you sharing that with us, Mark. We really do. And I can't help but agree. The reason why why I wanted to focus in tonight specifically on the issues with RFK Jr., his ties to Scientology. And yeah, I know Scientology isn't nearly as high up on the ladder of priorities of existential crises we're facing as a national populace as a whole. I'm focusing in on this namely because it's a link that folks should definitely be made more aware of, and more important to the point. Like, this is just another example of the type of like moneyed influence and cronyism that happens in under Trump's government, and this just so happens to be a link to Scientology, and which is also something that we over here at the Ravens Block have spoken about in the past and spoken against in the past. So it only made sense to go ahead and bring this stuff up, because the link is there. Folks should be more aware of it, and the fact that that specifically, even if RFK Jr. himself, even if he himself isn't a Scientologist, a practicing one, at least so far as we know, he's clearly aligned with their interests. He's clearly aligned with what they believe should be the way we run our everyday lives in terms of our mental health and use of any sort of medication, and that's something that I cannot, in good conscience, adhere to. That's not something that I could support, because they want to get rid of because they're anti-psychiatry, they're anti-psychology. A lot of us here in the Raves Flock and a lot of our nerd community wouldn't be around today if it weren't for psychiatry and if it weren't for psychology being around, and for us actually having access to mental health, or at the very least having education about mental health, and so that we can try to work on dealing with these issues in a healthier way, other than, okay, well, let's go ahead and load you up on niacin, have you handle these cans, and tell me every sin you've ever had in your life, and make sure that you give us in full detail. Oh, sorry, you got to repeat it. You're gonna have to say it again. Oh, sorry, go ahead from the top. While you're hooked up to an e-meter and you're thinking, oh my God, I'm releasing all this tension, and I'm sweating out, and I'm excreting the horrors of these psychic scars, these engrams that are plaguing me. All praise be to Hubbard. That shit just doesn't fly. And that's not something that I don't think anyone whether you're a Democrat, Republican, or Independent, would be happy to get behind. Even if you are Republican, even if you were big on the MAGA train. Oh, by the way, did you know that RFK Jr. stuff is lined up with Scientology stuff? And we've got the link right here. He's taking money from those settlements with Merck through Weiserbaum. He's been working with Weiserbaum since at least 2019. Probably before then. I'm not sure, but the fact that he's also promoting their ideals, the way that Scientology and their management over in David's office believe we ought to all run the world, and RFK Jr. is the sugar that's letting this terrible medicine go down. And like Angel mentioned,
and I'm not saying, hey, let's not talk about Scientology.
Oh, yeah, no,
because that's what I've been doing for 25 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue talking about Scientology.
Yeah.
But L. Ron Hubbard and Scientology is not going to take over the planet. Trump now surrounding himself with nothing but idiots like RFK Jr. and his drunk head of the Department of Defense, who it's all of these idiots he's surrounding himself with that have taken away any type of safety net we had in his first term. This is truly scary. And let's make fun of Scientology too.
While we're at it. Yeah, while we're here, since it's there. Dusty Lane in the chat was saying, yes, it would be great to have healthier food available, but that can somewhat control yourself by cooking fresh foods at home and stop buying processed foods that are just more easy to fix. Like, if it was just that, I would be all behind it. No problem. Less pesticides, less additives, less growth hormones in my chicken, all that good jazz. I've got no problem with that. If we can find a way to make that more sustainable, financially and ecologically, I'm all for it. Bring it on. Let's do that. Do that, fine. But it's like Angel said, that's the way that he starts off. He sounds very reasonable to begin with, and then when you let RFK Jr. ramble on for a little while longer, you get to, oh hey, by the way, I put in a carcinogen into my tap water to get rid of the microbials or whatever it is. It's like, I don't know if you've seen or heard anything about that, Mark, or if you guys have seen photos of that. No. Nope.
I haven't.
Okay. Then you're in for a treat. Hang on a minute.
Well, actually, I wanted to give a brief shout out to Cal Canada. I'm going to be starting therapy this year after years of silently dealing with my personal mental health. You know what? Hey, man, good on you. Good on you. It takes a really strong guy.
Any step you take to fix it is a good step indeed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And also, Mr. Geek Me Out, hey, up here, buddy. Welcome to the Black Files. Rest in peace, George Lowe, the voice of Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, he passed.
Yeah, that's right. We lost another one of the greats.
All right, so
I enjoyed this program, damn it.
So, just to fill y'all in, let's start with eggs being affordable. Seriously, Rachel, you're right. All right, so letting you in here and filling you in on what's up with the liquid that RFK Jr. put in his water.
All right.
Go ahead, Jose.
In this article by Yahoo.com, The Daily Beast, the headline reads, "What strange blue liquid did RFK Jr. add to his drink mid-flight?" RFK Jr. is going viral on social media after he was caught on camera adding a mysterious blue liquid to his in-flight beverage, and internet sleuths believe they know what it is. The leading theory among Twitter users is that the prospective health secretary was dosing his drink with methylene blue. Officially, the compound is injected as a treatment for the blood disorder.
This is a long one over here. Methemoglobinemia.
In which blood loses its ability to carry oxygen throughout the body. It is also used to dye textiles. However, it has also gained a cult following as a potential health silver bullet that supporters claim can add years to one's life.
A freaking textile dye. He puts that in. He adds that into his drinking water. And
I mean, are you surprised about this kind of gentleman and his beliefs that he will be doing something like that? This is on the level of those people that started boiling banana peels.
I have to step aside for a second, guys. I'll be back.
Yeah, by all means,
No
by all
worries.
means.
right. What was that, Angel, about boiling banana peels? What?
Yeah, there was a time when people started to dry up and smoke banana peels, hoping that they would get high. In reality, scientists discovered that there was a chemical compound inside banana peels that could get you high, but it would require an astronomical amount of the stuff. You would have to smoke basically an entire banana tree just to get the same amount as a small ounce of weed.
Oh my God.
Good grief.
But then again, is it any surprise to see somebody in power doing everything they can to extend their life?
Yeah, I know. It's almost as if RFK Jr. found his own personal fountain of youth. Comes
He's
available in a
mummifying
small
himself.
It's like in the actual article over here. Let me see. Yeah, there's a wellness influencer named Gary Brecka, who actually goes in and says that, let's see here, in his post, Brecka lauded methylene blue's potential benefits, which he suggested include better, you're gonna love this, better mitochondrial function, improved
The
focus and memory,
mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
and it improved focus and memory and an antioxidant effect. The compound counts at least one other high-profile figure amongst the supporters, Mel Gibson.
Oh, God, him. Mel Gibson, the actor and outspoken Donald Trump fanatic, claimed that methylene blue could cure cancer. Remember, guys, this is the same guy who is, like, overly super-duper Christian, and he's the mind behind the Passion of the Christ.
Of course. A way to screw up our medical treatment, relying in this insane, borderline shamanistic medications to keep themselves going just a little longer. Like they are 2 steps away from getting on their knees and praying to the sun. It's amazing.
Angel, do I have to bring back the butthole tanning fad to you?
Please don't.
I remember that. Like, didn't a guy nearly got cancer for that?
Like, no, he just burned himself.
Do I want to even ask what you're talking
I'll
about?
tell
No.
you another time. The last
Another time.
the less
Dear
you know about
God.
that, the better.
Unfortunately, another time is also another time for me because we're getting close to 12 and this is the part where I gotta step out. I'm trying to fix my sleep schedule, so unfortunately I gotta turn in before midnight. Apologies,
What
folks.
sleep schedule? What sleep schedule, Angel?
Sleep?
The thing I need to keep my job.
Fair enough, Angel. Before you bounce, do you have any final questions for our Mark Bunker?
No, he has been, as usual, Mark, you have been incredibly informative. Thank you kindly for joining us today and delivering the ever hard-hitting pieces of evidence we need to give ourselves some good old-fashioned ABT. Once again, very sorry about what happened last week. We have been having technical issues before, but last week was genuinely like the worst it's ever been, and hopefully the worst it ever will be. I look seriously forward to seeing you again in the future. And once again, thank you for taking the time to join us today. You've been the best.
Well, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
All right.
Pleasure's all mine.
Now, Angel, before you bounce, do you have any final thoughts? Your takeaway from tonight's episode?
I wish I could say that I am surprised or disturbed by this, but for the last few years, thanks to the advent of the beauty of social media, the public of the United States of A has been basically forced to witness the sheer level of incompetence that occurs at the highest levels of governmental power. The people that should have your best thoughts in mind are basically trying to go out of their way to disassemble the blocks that keep your society together just so they can put a little more money in their paychecks or push their religion a little further. What the public does with this information is up to them. All we can do is tell them what is happening and see their decisions. I'm just saying, as a law-abiding citizen, I do not and I will never condone the act of murder. As the guy who saw what happened to the CEO of United Healthcare, I'm just going to say that is going to happen again. The way things are going is just going to keep happening. You can only push the public so far before they realize the people in power are treating them like cattle and somebody snaps again. I hope it doesn't get to that point, but they keep pushing the buck, something's going to break. That's all I'm going to say.
No, I completely understand, and that is totally your opinion, Angel, and we appreciate you sharing that. Now, Angel, what can we expect this Saturday on Los Amigos Play?
Well, on slightly lighter, more lighthearted news, we have giant plagues, countless dead people, a country falling apart, a sickness devouring everything in sight. My
talking about
cousin
the
turning
game,
into
right?
a walking wart. Wait, Yeah, I'm talking about the game. I hope you will join us next Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we continue the journey of Amicia and her brother Hugo trying to survive the dangers of France in the 13th century. I hope that you will be there with us for another episode of Los Amigos Play, A Plague Tale Innocence on YouTube and Kick.
All right, fantastic.
Go ahead and get to bed. And you better go to bed for sure, because Ziana and Dragon Fang... let me know.
Yeah, dude, they're gonna out you. They're gonna out you.
Rivals.
Yeah, bro, they're gonna out you if you don't.
I was about to say, like, they'll tell.
I know it popped up on Sis's computer.
Yeah.
Like they'll tell me.
I'm watching you, Angel.
All right.
No, trust me. No more gameplay now. I just want to go to bed and sleep for a while.
Knock yourself out.
All right, man. Well,
maybe I will.
Literally
It's been
knock
good.
yourself out.
all right, man. Have a good night, and we'll see you this Saturday afternoon.
Do take care, all of you. I'll miss you all, and take good care. Thank you kindly.
All right. Have a good. What do you mean you'll miss us?
Why do you say you're gonna miss us? You're not gonna go on vacation, dude.
But the days are so slow.
Oh my god.
They are.
It's just such a weird thing to say, but okay.
72 hours, and it feels like 3 years. I'll be looking at the sky and seeing your face reflected in the stars.
I'm on
the
Angel's
Hercules
side.
movie.
Yeah.
The days are too long.
That's
All right, everybody. Have a good one,
Good night,
and do
man.
try to get some rest yourselves.
Yep.
See ya.
No
All
problem.
right. Have a good night. Go the fuck to sleep.
All right, let's get back to it.
Okay, like since we were since we were mentioning all of this over here, and we've got like there was one other point that I was bringing up with RFK Jr.'s is big grand ideas for making America healthy again, and I couldn't help but just gag at the ridiculousness of his promise just on its face. But I've got a different article that I wanted to share for everyone to see, and this one is another one from Yahoo News, and I'll go ahead and I'll let y'all see it yourselves. Jose, if you would be so kind.
Yep, in another article provided to us by Yahoo News, this headline reads, RFK's plan to make America healthy again? Send people with mental health conditions to farms.
Yeah.
What?
No. Let me scroll down and I'll tell you what it's about. So RFK Jr.'s "Make America Healthy Again" or MAHA motto is meant to convey that he is sincerely interested in helping Americans avoid getting sick in the first place. During his Senate confirmation hearing from Health and Human Services Secretary, all Kennedy and his newfound Republican supporters could talk about was how in love he is with prevention. We should be moving to value-based care, which includes prevention. Kennedy
Sorry about that.
Kennedy confidently declared. The committee chair, Senator Mike Crapo, a Republican from Idaho, described Kennedy as passionate about preventing and managing chronic disease, improving health outcomes, and reducing health costs. It should have always been self-evident that Kennedy is not pro-prevention, since he built his career as a vaccine denialist, yet much of the press seems to have been snookered. So it's especially noteworthy that Kennedy kicked off his new role with a broad attack on drugs people use to prevent depression, diabetes, and other such conditions. On Thursday, President Donald Trump signed an executive order that echoes Kennedy's lie that he wants to make America healthy again. HHS ordered
It's right here.
HHS ordered to assess the prevalence of and threat posed by the prescription of selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors.
Where did Mark go?
Mark?
Oh snap! Did Mr. Bunker
No.
get bumped?
Oh no.
Something?
Oh, no.
Is there anything in the little chat over here? No, right?
I know that he said he had to step away.
Yeah, that was a bit ago.
That was a bit ago. Okay, no. We didn't bump him off.
No, we didn't. Here's what we'll do. We'll continue on the article, and I'll see if he sent us an email or a message or something.
All right.
Let me.
No! You know what I think it is? I think because he thought that I think he bumped off the same time as Angel did and thought that we were closing. Oh no! Get him back! Get him back!
Well, I'll let him know because if that's what happened, then
he
that's
misread. Oh my!
I hope not. I hope not. I'll go ahead and I'll check here. Jose, you continue with the article, please.
You mean the article I can't... Okay, there we go. On Thursday, President Donald Trump signed an executive order that echoes Kennedy's lie that he wants to make America healthy again. HHS ordered to assess the prevalence of and threat posed by the prescription of selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, antipsychotics, mood stabilizers, stimulants, and weight loss drugs. But it's clear from the context that no good faith assessment is intended, as the order repeatedly cites a preordained conclusion that there is an overutilization of medication and an over-reliance on medication and treatments. Kennedy has long had it out for these drugs and repeatedly argues that the only prevention most people need is better willpower. Kennedy occasionally tosses a red herring about environmental causes of illness, but mostly he frames the issue as a matter of personal failing, focusing on people's diets and exercise habits as the root causes of nearly all illnesses. He regards antidepressants as an addictive drug, falsely claiming people have a much worse time getting off of SSRIs than they have getting off of heroin. Instead of letting people have drugs that keep them healthy, Kennedy's solution looks very much like punishing them for perceived personal failures by putting people into labor camps, which he euphemistically calls wellness farms. As Mother Jones reported in July, people would be relegated to these farms where they would be denied their prescription medications. They would also be barred from having cell phones, computers, or other means to contact the outside world. They would be put into work full-time, presumably for little or no pay, growing organic food. He claims this process would reparent supposedly broken people, again framing mental health issues as not a medical issue, but a personal failure.
All right, and there they have...
What does that sound like? Didn't they do something like this before?
Yes.
Do you know where I'm going with this? They had labor camps.
Yeah, I think I see where you're getting at here.
Yeah,
I'll talk about it. Yeah.
That's not good
No, it's not.
at all.
Now, give me a second. I went ahead and sent the message over to Mark. Let me that's not even that's not even the worst part of the silliness of the stupidity of it. It's just bananas how they're. Yeah, no, it gets in really bad over here. Yeah, Rachel. He said crapo.
Crapo. Wait, did I mispronounce it?
No, crapo.
Senator Crapo.
Sorry, I wasn't here for the beginning of the show, but that White House conflict looked like a WWF tag team. More like a handicapped match because it was 2 against 1. Jose, go ahead.
All right. So the racism underlying this vision of labor camps isn't just vibes either. Kennedy has explicitly argued that black kids need to get reparented, ideally in a rural area where they are denied most contact with family and friends.
Treating
black youth by making them do unpaid agricultural work isn't exactly subtle as far as racist fantasies go. This is why it's so frustrating to see mainstream journalists, as Reuters did Friday, blithely argue that there is a clash between Kennedy's long to-do list and Trump's alleged eagerness to cut back on federal spending. When it comes to Trump's fascist inclinations to purify a country, he repeatedly describes as having bad genes and poison in its blood. Price is no object. Trump has been bragging about his plans to create a concentration camp in Guantanamo Bay for immigrants he wishes to purge. While money is being illegally slashed from research, foreign aid, and regulatory agencies, Trump openly seeks to boost funding and other resources to his plan to deport millions of immigrants, both documented and undocumented.
Okay, so Trump is hyper-focused on the racial purity aspects of his fascistic vision, but Kennedy's contempt for people he views as physically unfit fits well within the larger MAGA agenda. Let me see here. Fascism is always an ideology based on the belief that modern society has become weak and degenerate, and the cure is purging certain people. Along with racialized minorities, fascists typically target queer people, so-called cosmopolitans who have feminist or socially liberal views, and people with disabilities. Kennedy doesn't even bother to hide his dehumanizing view of those he deems unhealthy, a group he estimates is over half of Americans. A healthy person has 1,000 dreams, he declared during his hearing. A sick person has only one. He added reducing those with diabetes or depression to people who have no lives. He didn't call people with imperfect health the Untermenschen, but the implication lingered throughout the hearing as he repeatedly framed them as ignorant, lazy, and parasitical. As Rebecca Traister pointed out in New York Tuesday, quote, the administration has even added an A to its DEIA code indicating abilities for extra eugenicist oomph. Kennedy's ugly attitudes keep getting sane-washed by the press as merely an interest in promoting healthy eating, which is nonsense on every level, starting with his belief that beef tallow is somewhat better than your heart than olive oil. But it's also important to put his views in the larger context of what is increasingly looking like an all-out assault by the Trump administration on the lives of people they view as weak members of society. Over the weekend, tech billionaire and shadow president Elon Musk launched a full-blown attack on Social Security, just like Mark Bunker had mentioned earlier. He and his Department of Government Efficiency, which isn't a real department and doesn't exist actually, are demanding access to private records of all Americans held by Social Security offices. Musk's claims Social Security is, quote, the biggest fraud in history and is pushing false claims that millions of people are drawing checks and illegally. This is both obviously false and has been repeatedly debunked, but Musk persists, making it unavoidable that this is a lie instead of mere confusion. The purpose of the lie isn't too hard to suss out either. Musk is building up a pretext to stop payment on checks that many elderly people need to survive. Characterizing their identities as waste and fraud works like Kennedy's disparagement of disabled people. It dehumanizes anyone's fascist view as sapping the strength of American society. This goes hand in hand with Musk's obsession of raising birth rates and his fixation on the neo-Nazi Great Replacement theory. It's like Musk took a bunch of ketamine, watched nothing but Leni Riefenstahl film reels of blonde muscle men marching in parades to illustrate Aryan fitness, and mistook that for a reality he could will into being. There's no need to take Kennedy's banal chatter about healthy food at face value, and not just because every American is educated in the concept of a balanced diet from well before they can eat solid food. Scratch the surface even a millimeter, and it's evident Kennedy has a hostile, even eliminationist attitude towards anyone he has decided he doesn't meet his esoteric standard of physical fitness. The food gambit is so that when health care is taken from people, he could say it's their own fault for not taking his advice on how unpaid farm labor is the cure for bipolar disorder. It's fascist rhetoric rebranded as wellness. Holy shit. Whoever wrote this person is a freaking whoever wrote this article is a freaking genius. Let me pull that up. Where is their name? This is by Amanda Marcotte.
By the way, has Mark responded?
No, he hasn't responded. Mark hasn't answered. I hope nothing happened. I hope Mark's all right.
I hope so too. That was poorly miscalculated, and like I said, not intent. I
really hope that's not what happened. That he mistook Angel leaving with us, calling it off the show or finishing the show. Nuts.
He hasn't responded yet.
No.
Okay. Oh man.
In any case, Zayana Dragonfang, since y'all have been in this all night long, you know exactly what's up with the rest of this. Kelly BC, I'll text him. I do appreciate that, Kelly. Thank you very much.
Yay! Someone has direct contact.
Well, I don't have his phone number. What do you want me to do?
It's okay. It's okay.
That's right. No.
It's okay.
No,
but Dragonfang.
Oh, his cat was sick with throwing up. Oh, okay.
Oh no!
If it's a cat, if it's the pet that's sick, no, we totally understand.
Yeah, no.
Oh yeah, no. They are family.
Okay.
They are family. They must be taken care of immediately.
Family comes first.
Family.
That is perfectly fine. We could continue the
That
rest
is
of the episode.
fine.
Well, we've only got like 5 minutes left or so.
All right,
But
fair enough.
now, in any case, they're spilling this out bit by bit over here. Oh, I see. Okay. Mark said, yes, I could do that. Oh, I see here. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I'm exhausted and was turning in, so I don't think I have the energy to get back on. All right. No problem. We totally understand. So, Mark, I don't know if he's still listening or hearing, but yeah, no, we totally understand. I'll voice text this here. Yes, we totally understand, Mark, period. We appreciate that you came on the show tonight, period. Thank you once again for your contributions. You're a great ally and an excellent inspiration, sir. Thank you very much. Period. All right. It made all the periods into the word period. Unbelievable. I gotta fix it before I said it. Okay, so... Alright, let me see here. Okay, and sent.
Okay.
Alright, well, in any case, I guess that's our way of saying thank you, Mark, for joining us tonight. Amanda Marcotti, for that Salon article that we just read to you guys, that is putting it in as nice as possible. Because this is not gonna be fun no matter what your political alignment may be. And like we mentioned, the fact that one of the things that Scientology believes in is that you can actually exercise away your depression and your pain and your anxieties and shit. And if I remember correctly, one of the ways that they promoted that was with the survivors of the firemen who worked during 9/11.
Yes.
Let me bring this up over here. Let me see, 9/11 firefighters.
Tom Cruise, 9/11 firefighters.
Okay, because I remember this. Yep, New York rescue workers detoxification project. Yep, I fucking knew it. And so the New York rescue workers detoxification project is exactly over here. Kelly BC signing off too. Take care. See you next time. Thank you very much, Kelly BC. Thank you for joining us. And Lisa Booth, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate the emojis on the stream. And just to let y'all know, just to show I wasn't making this up or going crazy. The New York Rescue Workers Detoxification Project was founded in New York in 2003 with the stated purpose of treating rescue workers for toxins inhaled from the smoke of the 9/11 attacks. It has 2 clinics, Downtown Medical on Fulton Street, 2 blocks from the site of the World Trade Center, and another at Williston Park, Long Island. The project's co-founder and top fundraiser is actor Tom Cruise. It uses the Purification Rundown, a detoxification program invented by L. Ron Hubbard as a part of Scientology's Bridge to Total Freedom. This rundown has been criticized by many doctors as pseudoscientific and medically dangerous. It was reported in October 2007 that 838 people had completed the New York program. The project has been supported by some public officials and received some public funding, but received criticism for its financial ties to the Church of Scientology, for exposing rescue workers to potential medical dangers, and for discouraging use of orthodox medicine. Sources in the fire department told a reporter that several participants had joined Scientology, even disconnecting from their families. So you see, that's how they get you. They're trying to help. They're trying to detoxify people. They're trying to work on making people healthy. Isn't that right? But yeah, no. Oh, by the way, you may want to go ahead and cut away from your entire family. And
Tom Cruise's fingerprints is all over it as the co-founder.
Yeah, he was like the main promoter for this thing. And I remember this one video of seeing these firefighters taking massive doses of niacin tablets to sweat out toxins or whatever, and having them work in like having them go through hyper heated saunas in order to sweat out the toxins. And then what they would do is that Tom Cruise actually showed them like a white towel that had like purple stain on it, and like, oh, this was the toxins of this one guy. He had it on him just so we can prove it, and this is the proof that this stuff works. I'm like,
Wait, what?
yeah, this is some bullshit. But truthfully,
I would say that I can't believe people actually believe this, but then again, I look at the world right now and I'm like, no, actually, no, I can believe people are this.
The average layman will believe anything they see that's in front of them.
sadly.
Yeah.
And we'll go ahead and I'll let you guys see the Wikipedia article that we were referring to about the New York Rescue Workers Detoxification Project, so you guys can see it for yourself. And this is how you can tell that this is 100% Scientology. Does this not scream we're trying to be cool and modern? Hello, how do you do, fellow kids? Font and style here.
How do you? Yeah, I was gonna say, how do you look at this and not feel anything suspicious? Come on. How do you not be sus?
How is this not sus to you?
Yeah.
No, the
detoxification. Oh God.
Oh no, Jose. I will show you the video when we're done.
Yeah, because it's already midnight and I gotta bounce.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, and I guess we can start wrapping up here. All right. So, Dragon Fang, Zayana Rose. I'd like to go ahead and get your last thoughts on everything we discussed tonight, including RFK Jr.'s involvement in all this, and where he's clearly got where he's getting his bread buttered. Your thoughts, ladies.
Okay, I'm trying to think back to everything we talked about. I know, I mean, again, Denny's pretty much our hometown, so you really do look at, for the downtown Clearwater and everything, how different the two are. Dunedin is super bustling and everything. You just see it's always packed with people. Then you look at Clearwater and it's
a ghost town.
My concern is if you really don't start fighting back at trying to reclaim all those businesses, I mean,
it's going to expand.
Yeah, everyone hears downtown.
Maybe it's going to push
to go.
Maybe it's going to be pushing into Tampa Bay one of these days.
Yeah, can you imagine this happening to New Orleans? Can you?
I shudder to think.
So that's the thing. They were able to get all this real estate and
under fake names.
For fake names. And who's to say they're not going to be like, you know what, we like this other town and there's a lot of potentials over there. Let's try and do that over there.
They're welcome to try. I don't think people are going to fall for their horse shit, but they're welcome to try.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And oh gosh, what was that point we were going to bring up? Oh gosh, I hate my brain forgetting things. Oh, the fact that he's in a position of power now and he has ties to Scientology. We already know that a lot of
he's going to try and expand Scientology that way.
He might try to use position to start really pushing Scientology. It's the same thing that a lot of people are pushing. I'm going to say extremist Christianity, because we all know that
Bible thumpers.
The actual Christianity that follows the Bible is not really what a lot of these people in power believe in. They do the cherry picking. They are the extremist ones. Mm-hmm. They don't represent true Christians.
They like to just shove it down your throat. And how dare you not be Christian? How dare you be from another religion? Yeah, and your religion.
That's what I'm worried about. We already have people pushing Christianity and condemning all over religions. But because RFK Jr. is in power, and now he's getting buddy-buddy with Trump, who's to say that they're not going to try and start pushing Scientology as well? Yeah.
Scientology, I could just see it now. Scientology is the one true religion.
No. It'll be the two true religions.
Well, yeah, with Christianity.
But yeah, it's we can't really fearmonger and everything, but it is something to
think about.
Keep an eye on, because, I mean, again, Scientology is a cult. I haven't really read many stories about that, but there is that one on Netflix, the documentary.
Wasn't the Leah?
Yeah, that's the one that Leah Remini.
Yeah,
that's the one-
that was the one we brought up earlier.
I watched that several
we
times.
watched
That was
our
what
family
Mark was
watched
recommending.
that
Yes.
together, but
Yeah.
it's like it is eerie because I mean, once you leave Scientology, of course,
You're gonna be hounded.
you're going to be hounded, and you will never be able to talk to your family again, especially if they were involved. So it is kind of a unnerving concept of if they're able to expand their agenda nationally.
Right.
So
Right. And that's not something that that anyone's really looking forward to. I agree with Mark that Scientology isn't the biggest problem we've got. We've got
yeah, no,
bigger
it
for
could become a bigger issue, which
Yeah.
is why we have to keep an eye on it.
Exactly, and keep them in check. Like just because we've got this stuff doesn't mean that we're not gonna remember to keep our eyes on these little bottom feeders at the Church of Scientology. So yeah, we're definitely gonna keep an eye on that for the future.
All right.
All right. Angel gave us Los Amigos play. Jose, why don't you go ahead and give us your thoughts and also let us know what we can expect on tomorrow night's edition of Wrestle Rewind. First, your thoughts.
All right. So I do agree that what Mark Bunker said, and we've all collectively agreed that Scientology is not the biggest problem, but we do need to keep a watchful eye on it. The biggest problem is, of course, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and his campaign to go after all these medications, all these prescriptions that we take in order to keep our mental faculties managed. Like, because, listen, as we get older, we're faced with real life situations, and these are situations that we can't just handle like easily. And it takes a toll on us, not just physically but also mentally. As we get older, it becomes harder to manage, and we become more dependent on these medications, and we become more dependent on these on certain like treatments, like therapy, psychiatry visits, etc. We need these things in order to continue to function in our society. And RFK Jr.'s campaign to go after these things and dismissing it as just, personal failings, that's gonna set our entire nation back even further. And I'm sorry, like, how can you not look at his plan of like sending reparenting these people and sending them off to farms? Like, how can people not look at this and
listen? All you need to do is make sure that you clear up this field of cabbages within the next hour, and we will allow you to live, and that will also cure you of your schizophrenia.
No. This screams.
That will cure you of all your schizophrenia.
No, it's stupid. It screams absolute political domination. And I'm not for that shit. I'm not for that crap. We need the stuff that we need to help maintain our mental faculties.
Just make sure that you eat a squirrel.
Juan, I'm trying to get my final thoughts. Can you please? You want me to give my final thoughts?
But you should also eat roadkill and raw milk.
Asshole.
No, that's shit that he's fucking believes.
Yeah, I know that. I'm trying to be.
I know you're trying to be serious. I'm sorry. I josh on you too much.
Yeah, no shit. But anyways, no, there's really not much else to say. I think I've got everything off my chest now. Please don't do that again.
I would like to piggyback off you really quick about that. Yeah, with taking away people who have mental health issues and all that stuff. If they do try and do that, and if they actually get rid of all of the healthcare and medications that we need to help get through that, I fear there will be a massive uptick of suicides.
Yeah, as one of the people on Twitter pointed out in one of the articles, there's going to be a large increase in tragedies, and
and we're all gonna end up like trying to get our medication back alley. Like, hey yo, you need some Lexapro? I got some Lexi right here. You need Lexis? Like $5.
So what we could easily compare this to is, okay, so with depression and everything, it makes it harder to produce serotonin because it's just it literally, depression literally changes your brain.
Yeah.
We literally have scientific fact of that. And you can compare to one, you're diabetic. You need insulin because your body
I
will
don't need
not.
insulin yet. I'm not at that point.
Okay, but diabetics need insulin. So people who are depressed and everything, they need these medications to be normal, to function.
That's
to
the
get
biggest thing.
everything out of life that they can. And not because without that, all you want to do is just sleep. Because at least sleeping, you don't really feel that much
energy to do normal day things like brush your teeth, take a shower.
So what are they going to do? Are they going to also take away insulin then? That's something that people rely on
to survive.
Who knows?
I mean, just hearing that plan, I'm like, okay, I wish I could say, are people really that stupid to believe it? But again, yes they are that stupid because they believe everything. But it's like, I wish people can wake up and realize this will not work. Again, yeah, we're all for healthy eating that stuff, if it wasn't that expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I would totally eat, salad all the time, for one, if it was less expensive. Two, if it lasted longer.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for adding to that. I really appreciate that. And for tomorrow night's edition of Wrestle Rewind, which is every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube and Kick, join me and my tag partner, Mr. Juan Rouse, as we review three of the most exciting pro wrestling programs in North America today: Dynamite and TNA Impact.
What happened here? Give me.
Tell me you did not.
No. The microphones, when I showed the thumbnail.
Oh, I was going to say, you better not.
No, I didn't cut the feed.
For tomorrow night's edition of Wrestle Rewind, which is every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube and Kick, join me and my tag partner, Mr. Juan Rouse, as we review three of the most exciting pro wrestling programs in North America today: WWE's NXT, AEW Dynamite, and TNA Impact. Last week's edition, we went over the Go Home show before the Go Home NXT program before WWE's Elimination Chamber, and we also covered a bunch of what it is an exciting week of wrestling. For tomorrow night's edition, we're gonna continue our weekly review, and we're also gonna discuss the main event segment of this year's WWE Elimination Chamber, which was on Saturday, March 1st in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Yes, folks, we're gonna talk about it. The moment that we've all waited for over 2 decades. Beloved WWE superstar, multi-world champion, and Hollywood actor John Cena turning heel, turning villain, and we're going to discuss all of it tomorrow.
Do you have to keep slapping my shoulder? You know I know how to take that hand off, right?
No, dude, that's it. I got it. It's all you now.
You sure?
Positive. Dude, I've got nothing else. You're good.
You needed to go.
Well, I might as well just stay until I might as well just stick around so you can wrap up. I mean, it only makes sense. I'm gonna
wrap up over here. Dusty Lane in the chat was saying something real important. Separating from family and friends can be devastating for those with depression. Sadly, that is what they do anyway because of the disease. You're not mistaken there, Dusty Lane. And that is something that does happen with people who deal with clinical depression. So you're not wrong about that, and that's something that I've been struggling against for a long time in my own head in terms of dissociating and abdicating my responsibilities in my household and in my family. That's not something I'm down for. Now, as far as all of this goes, we have bringing this shit up is important. We needed to shine a spotlight on this, and I'll be damned if I allow computer problems or anti-Scientology, Scientology hounding fanatics. Someone already thumbs down disliked this stream over here, so I don't know why anyone would do that.
Well, I mean, we're not going to win everyone.
Yeah, well, it's not a matter of not winning everyone. It's just I know the only reason they would have done that is because they either A, don't like that we were critical of RFK Jr., B, were critical of Scientology, or
C, the fact that we're just talking about politics and Scientology.
Yeah.
Or that we don't like Trump. Yeah.
Or that we don't like Trump, even though Trump isn't even like the main focus of tonight's topic.
Well, I know, but I mean, we mentioned him, so yeah.
Yeah, true. And a less than flattering like oh, we didn't grovel and bend the knee to his sorry ass. No, we don't do that. We don't bend our knees to anyone here at the Ravens Flock. We stand up for ourselves. We stand up for others. And what's most important to us is the fact that we are able to continue speaking truth to power, and the fact that we're able to continue shining a light on these sort of topics in the that span the spectrum of nerd and geek culture. So you better believe that if there's any other developments that come from this, we're going to crow about it here on this program, and we're going to howl about it for everyone to know and hear. Right here on this show, the uncensored and uncompromising interview and review podcast of the Ravens Flock, The Black Files, hosted by yours truly, Juan Arouse. Be sure to request access as we go live every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, simulcasting on YouTube and Kick. Hit the subscribe and the follow button, ring the notification bell to stay up to date on all of our content. Become an inner flocker by hitting the join button, and until next time, continue to follow us on Facebook.com/TheRavensFlock, Twitter.com/RavensFlock13, Instagram.com/TheRavensFlockOnline, Kick.com/TheRavensFlock, and of course, remember to hit the subscribe button and ring that tiny little notification bell right here on our flagship platform, YouTube.com/TheRavensFlock. Ho. Sorry about that. Of the Black Files, Blow Some Eagles Play, Wrestle Rewind at the Ravens Flock. For Jose Casabona, Angel Mendez, Mark Bunker, Dragon Fang Cosplay, and Zion Rose Cosplay, I am Juan Arouse. This has been the Black Files, and we are out of here. That's it!
Good night, Mr. Crapo!
Give me that hand!
Oh, God!
Are you off this